So most people don't get stuck because they're not capable. They get stuck because they get knocked down and then they eventually just stop moving. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because that's life. But then this is where my life splits off and what I like to call the adventurous path, because I consider life to have two different paths. It can be path one, where it can be a lot of certainty, predictability, security, different things like that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because that takes a lot of stress out of your life. But then there's the other path, the second path. That's the path I decided to take, which was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unpredictability. You never knew what was coming, a lot of curiosity driven things. But this is the path that I chose. Now, one path keeps you safe, and then the other path changes you. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is something that I figured out after the fact. So I started to realize that I was moving a lot different from most of the people around me, mainly because the things that I got exposed to. So first off, it was with sports, which took me, around the world. And then I went into a different industry, and then I traveled again around the US. And then, I switched industries again or switched job roles again. And that took me to different places. So just all the different types of life experience I've had, which I just kept saying yes to those different opportunities. And what came out of that is different lessons, which I'm now able to just say in hindsight, that's what this was. So what I realize is that we spend a lot of time thinking about the actual dive of the situation, like in the moment. Now, it's cool to think about that, but that's where all that other stuff happens, like the uncertainty. You start thinking about what could happen, all the, what if people see this part of me and then they see me mess up? What are they going to think? All these different things that happen at that moment. Like you already done the hard part. You made it there to that moment. And then it makes you hesitate instead of just like actually taking a dive. And what you need to know is, man, just like if you done got to that point, if you even got to close your eyes, close them and take the dive. And see, fear stopping you is absolutely normal. That's part of life. It's supposed to be temporary though. Now, what a lot of us do is we let fear take a little bit longer than it should. And then it's not fear anymore. Then it turns into stagnation. Now, stagnation is a whole different monster that you got to deal with because it slides you right back into where you came from. You don't even realize it. First, it starts off, you have to go back to the environment because you didn't make it to the new one. So you go to the new environment, which introduces you to the things you started making distance from, which includes people, places, and things. Stagnation takes over you, and next thing you know, you're running on autopilot again, wondering how you got back there. So difficulty usually contains something valuable because when you make it through it, it's not just for you. You got to think about what you're developing after that. You're turning that into keys that you can pass down to the people right behind you. So everybody's not walking around with a whole bunch of hearsay, but they know somebody who actually made it through the journey. This is also something I realize is that, as I'm getting older, like now I'm in my early 40s, and how I see the older men, like a little bit older than us, and how they move so different than like how we move as kids or young men. And the reason is because they front loaded their pain. They did all the hard stuff as kids or as young men, and now they move with precision as older men. So they recognize patterns. They skip over the BS. They navigate with a sight that we have not developed yet. And that came from the stuff that they did when they were earlier, when they were younger. So what I like to call the adventurous path is not about conquering the world. It's about just, navigating it the way that I want to find out where my place is in it. And I'm not done yet. So as I'm going through this, I'm just going to keep dropping the jewels because I'm just leaving my keys behind so that you can leave yours behind.